Hello everybody, my name is Diamond Racing and today I'm going to do my Zandvoort review and my Monza predictions. Now today I'm not going to do a video recording because I'm not home, so it's just going to be a classic voice recording where you just hear my voice. So let's just get it started. I'm with number 20 for my Zandvoort driver's ranking. It's going to be Logan Sargent crashing out in both the qualifying and the race. That's not a good way to show Williams to have faith in him, so probably not the best way to do anything at Zandvoort. P19 is going to be Charles Leclerc. Now he crashed out in qualifying and that wasn't good, and he damaged his own car by going over the gravel, locking up, and yeah, that's just his own fault, and he just wasn't performing nearly as good as he should. P18, a little bit of a controversial one maybe, is going to be Piastri. Now, he was just off. Even though the Lando was off in the race, he was still more off, if I can put it like that. He just didn't perform in any of the sessions. Qualifying, he was way off. Lando, and in the race, the same. He at least scored a little bit points, but that was very disappointing from the sensational rookie. B17 is going to be Lance Stroll. I can't even remember what he did in one of the races or the qualifying. I remember he wasn't even in Q3, and in the race, I can't even remember anything about what he did. So, and yeah, I don't think he even finished in the points. So that just sums it up. P16 is going to be Zhao Guanyu. He actually had a decent out qualifying Bottas, but crashing out in the treacherous conditions in the race, but still he shouldn't have made that mistake. And he was the one who made the red flag come out. So probably A plus for him for being there for the drama department, but not for the driving. P15, Kevin Magnussen had a very mediocre qualifying session, I think second from last, then starting from the pit lane in the race, and he made a few positions up. That's why I was probably not dead last, but still, could have done so much better like his teammate. P14 is going to be Sergio Perez. Now Perez did once again disappointing qualifying. I think he started P7 or P8 in the Red Bull, and Max outqualified him by a second and a half, which is just crazy. And in the race, he made mistakes, but he still finished P4. He should have been a Red Bull 1-2, but he's just not nearly as good as Verstappen. P13 is going to be Valtteri Bottas. Now, Bottas had a very weak qualifying. I think he finished P18. That was not good at all. And in the race, he had an okay race, some overtaking and things, but I can't even remember what he did, thinking about it now. P12, Esteban Ocon. In the qualifying, he was not disqualified, he was out in Q1, and he was in the race, he wasn't nearly as good as Gasly was, so that's why it's P12. P11 is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. He had a decent qualifying, and he actually had a very good race, but some mistakes and some poor choices on his side of the strategy didn't help him at all, but still, he had a decent run at Zandvoort. P10 is going to be the rookie himself, Liam Lawson. Now, for a driver that was only an FP3, and it was like the worst conditions you can ever think of, and then you went in a race where it was the most dramatic race of the season, and he still finished ahead of Tsunoda, even though he got a penalty. But Lawson also had a penalty. It was 10-second penalty for not even his own fault. It was the team's fault. So he actually did a very good race for his first time with almost none preparation. So that's very good from Lawson. I really hope he's in Formula 1 next year. B9 is going to be Lewis Hamilton. Now, the year where I am, Lewis had a contract re-sign or renewal with Mercedes until 2025, but his Zandvoort, the qualifying was bad, getting out in Q2, but his race was decent enough to make up a lot of places to finish, I think, P6, so that wasn't too bad, but it could have been so much better from Lewis if he probably just did a better qualifying. P8 is going to be Nico Hulkenberg. He had a very good qualifying once again, and then the race again bogged down very much. It's just Hastings at the moment, so yeah, that's why it's P8. P7 is going to be George Russell. Now Russell had a very good qualifying, P3, and then he had a very mediocre race where he made a mistake. I don't know that Lando was at fault or him, but it was a very daring move, and sadly he got a punctured wheel. But he was just fighting for P8 at that point, so yeah, not good. P6 is going to be Carlos Sainz. The Ferraris didn't have pace, you could see that, but Sainz made the best out of it and fought until the end, and he got a P5 for that, so that's very commendable for the Ferrari driver. P5 is going to be Lando Norris, a very, very, very good qualifying P2. Yeah, then the team left him out on dries, and he fell much more down than I would have liked. And then still, he didn't do enough moves to get in front of the drivers. He was struggling to get past, who was it? Sonoda. So yeah, not as good as I thought it would have been in the beginning of this race. P4 is going to be Pierre Gasly. Now, he had a very good race. He was my second driver for Driver of the Day. But his qualifying wasn't so impressive as the people around him. He was out in Q2, even though his teammate was out in Q1. But the difference wasn't shocking. But yeah, it's still a very, very good race. My favorite driver on the podium is always a good thing to see. But yeah, that was so good from Gas, and I hope Alpine is back on top, or back on podium ways. P3 is going to be Alex Albon. Another incredible qualifying session from him, finishing P4 in the Williams, and then sadly again he was the only person to go on the dries the whole time it rained. He took those softs for so long, and he should be commended for that, and he's still finishing the points, so all to Albon. He's being such a good driver this year. My second driver on the podium is going to be Fernando Alonso. He outqualified his teammate once again very much. It's nothing shocking anymore. And in the race, he was just something else. He was on top of Perez the whole time. And yeah, he overtook so many people when it was raining and the people were on softs. So, and he was on softs as well. That was pretty daring. And that's why he's going to be P2. And P1, I'm not going to even talk about it too long. It's going to be Max Verstappen. That race, I said, if he wins this race, nothing else can stop him. So it's just what it is at the moment. Equaling Vettel's record, it's something to behold. Now, I'm quickly going to do my F1 fantasy. So if you want to skip it, just skip it to go through my predictions. But it was another not so bad F1 fantasy. Perez got me 60 points, and he is my multiple by 2. Now Leclerc had a bad one. He gave me minus 7 points. Sainz actually had a good points haul with 31. Albon 17, understandable. Norris 25. Aston Martin 67, and McLaren 56. Now let's go to my Zandvoort predictions. I said Williams for the good drive. I will take that point. Russell didn't have a bad drive, so I'm not gonna take that one. Perez did not have pole. That was a really wild one. So yeah, just hopeful. And my top 5 were Sainz, which was correct. Stroll, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez. So only my 5th place for Stroll was correct. And my top 5 were 5th, 11th, 1st, 6th, and 4th. So that was not so good. And my wild prediction was Daniel is going to score points. He didn't even race, so it just shows you how good my predictions are. So I got 2 out of 9. Probably, I really hope for Monza I'm going to have better predictions. So let's go through it quickly. My good driver is going to be Lando Norris. I think the McLaren is going to do very well there, so it's probably going to be between him and Piastri for the best driver, but I think Norris is just going to take the cake. So yeah, I am a bad driver. I'm going for Williams. Now, Williams doesn't know why there was so fast at Zandvoort, and Zandvoort and Monza is not the same track, and I first thought maybe Williams is going to be good there because of the long straights, but the more I thought about it, I think Williams is not going to be as good. But that doesn't mean Albon can't or Sargent can't be good drivers. I'm just saying the car won't be as good as what we thought it would be at Zandvoort. Now, I think Norris is going to take pole, and I know that's probably a wild one, but I think, like I said, the McLaren are going to do good at Monza. And my top 5 is going to be P5 is Russell. The Mercedes is going to be okay. P4 is Albon. He's been such a good driver at the moment, so why not put in P4? P3 is going to be Lance Stroll. Get his first podium of the season. It's the easiest track probably on the calendar, so we'll see about that. P2 is Verstappen. Even the Monza has that curse with the driver that won the first year or the previous year doesn't finish. But I still think Verstappen would finish, and he will finish second. And the winner of the Monza Grand Prix, I think, is going to be Norris, snatching his first ever F1 win at Monza. It would be so cool. And my wild prediction is Ocon is going to outperform Gasly. Now, Gasly has 1 year, so it's going to be no mean feat. So, yeah, that is my Zandvoort review and my Monza predictions. Comment in the comment section down below what you think of my predictions and my driver ranking. And if you don't, if you think I did some things wrong and some people deserve to be higher or lower, please let me know. And let me know what your Monza predictions are. Thank you for listening and for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.